What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? Another episode, Tristan Shop Talk, May 30th, 2025. Just, I don't know what I can say. It's been a kind of a busy week back to reality and back to, well, I was on vacation in Cancun. I had some time off. It was good times, good company. uh, and then from that, it was just back home, and then now back into the work mode. And that's why I'm doing these on Friday, because Friday is usually the end of the work week. But it took me a minute. I was running late because of the fact of I had to go back on some of this material I wanted to go over. Uh, well, now I mean I'm going to talk about Nate Diaz and John Jones in Thailand. I thought that would be kind of interesting. So, man, I hope his Instagram's working. So, anyways, yeah, it's been a eventful week, and then today kind of topped it off with, you know, how sometimes you run into your past, and you don't really, it's like the last thing you're thinking of, and last thing you're thinking of somebody, and then all of a sudden you run into somebody. It's just I don't know. I think it's just weird how sometimes life just makes you, I guess, follow you, or I guess life follows that way. I'm guessing, or life just ends up happening, or uh, I mean, I'm not sure. Um, man, I'm not sure what's going on with my live. So, anyways, I'm hoping my live is working on the Instagram, but I don't know. It might not be, or maybe if I. So, yeah, that topping off the week. I'm involved right now in some other things, so it's pretty cool, because it's a new beginning, new start, which was the whole point of the whole trip of me getting out here for a little bit and then me leaving. And then now that I'm back to reality, obviously, it is what it is, back to working, you know. They say what it's called, the Matrix, back to the Matrix. So yeah, so I just wanted to start off. Uh this is gonna be kind of a normal thing, TST live. This is kind of another thing, another direction I'm taking just for right now, because just getting back into the routine and finding my place back on this podcast world. I still don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. So I mean, that's all I can say. But now I really wanted to start off. Earlier, I was gonna go one route and then another route, and then I was having some delays. I really need to get with my nephew. My nephew'd probably be the one to help me out with. I don't know, something's lagging, and I can't run multiple programs. And I think, I keep asking him about a video card, and I probably just need a better video card because I just have too much running. Or I don't know what it is, to be honest. It might be I might need a new computer altogether, but or maybe he'll build one for me. I don't know. I'll pay him for it. So, anyways, yeah. So I was lagging, so then that's what delayed it. And then during that time, I went ahead and just came up with some other things that I already had in mind that I was going to come out with. But I think this one kind of tops it off. It's getting me away from reality from a little bit, because I was going to I might still speak about some news, but other than that, I thought this would be the first thing to start off with. Uh, two fighters, which are kind of my favorite fighters. There was another thing that happened where somebody recently, I saw something posted by this dude named Wes Watson, and he's talking mad mess about fighters and how they're this and that. And I got to find the video, but see, that's the thing. Like, sometimes when I'm looking for some of these viral videos that are, on, that these people are getting clickbait for, which is Wes Watson. But yeah. So, anyways, he's claiming fighters are nothing, and that the real deal is, being a criminal. And I don't know. Like I said, it just what kind of got my interest was that it's almost in the same world of to be talking mess to. I don't know. That's what the one thing that I just it's almost like you're fighting. I don't know where the hate comes from for hating on UFC fighters. And then, he was claiming a lot of these fighters are actually not, some of them are not even really actually street fighters. From It's just a bunch of nonsense, but that's later. So I mean, to start off, I wanted to go into talking about Nate Diaz and John Jones' trip to this Russian. It was a Russian TV show that was going to be held in Thailand, which I think is a pretty neutral spot because obviously these guys are. It's a Russian podcast that's kind of famous in Russia, but obviously, Nate Diaz, he's had some beef with some of Khabib's people. There was an incident back in the day where it was the bottle. He threw a bottle at him, a water bottle. But like Nate, see, like a lot of these guys, they talk shit, and Nate Diaz is not the one. That's why he's one of my most favorite fighters. And it's not even because of his streak. I mean, I think it's just his style and his persona and his personality, which is he don't take shit for anything. He doesn't take he challenges it, and then people have to stop him because of the fact he has a lot more to lose than anybody. So, anyways, I'll go ahead and get into it. So I already so this trip they took, damn it. Yeah, come on. No, remove. All right. So, anyways, this trip they took to Thailand, and it was a trip that John Jones and Nate Diaz were going to go be guests on, but the spot was in Thailand. I'm not sure what part of Thailand. To me, it looks like it was Phuket. It might be Phuket, or I mean, I don't know. It could be a number of places, but obviously they're by the beach. Obviously in Thailand, they're it's legal to smoke weed over there, or marijuana, or whatever you want to call it. So, anyways, they took a trip over there. They showed Nate Diaz on his trip because he's from California, and then he goes and he does his thing, and then John Jones is there. So, Thailand is a very different place. So I felt it was a neutral spot, obviously, for them to be meeting because of obviously Russia and I mean, obviously, I don't think anybody would want to go to Russia to, you know, do a podcast, especially Americans. So, John Jones and Nate Diaz. So hopefully I don't get knocked for this by Nate. But Nate, I just wanted to show, man, hopefully, I guess, because sometimes you can't be showing other people's YouTubes, or sometimes you can. And I know his production company probably, but I just wanted to show it because I'm just showing props to Nate Diaz for being Nate Diaz. And like I said, his whole trip, I don't want to show the whole thing because I just want to show the clip, which is the most important one, where he gets in a scuffle because somebody went in there and talk being stupid. And like I said, I know it's dealing with the same crowd from the time when he was in. I forgot. I don't know what you. All right, it was somewhere, and he threw a water bottle over there because they were poking fun or saying something stupid, and he didn't like it. So, like I said, he ain't scared, and that's one thing I'm just that's him. So yeah, there he goes. But no, I respect him as a fighter, and obviously his brother Nick Diaz, he's another legend. So I think it's a pretty cool deal. So this is where they're out going out to the patio, and I believe they're gonna take a picture with the host, and he's lighting up, whatever. So he's gonna take a picture with the host, and then the host. I'll go ahead and fast forward. See all that. All right. All right. So I don't know. I might get knocked for this, maybe not. I don't know. I rather worth it was worth taking the chance. At least I'll have it live. Whoever's watching right now. But so this is the host. I believe he's the host right there in the blue, yeah, in the middle. But they're all fighters. So it's all cool. John Jones. You got Nate Diaz. Legends. I don't care what anybody says. Legends. And then also there was another part where they were talking and they were like they don't really know any of the new fighters in the UFC. But I think that's probably because they're just enjoying life. They've already done the dirt work. They've done their time. They're in that. I think Nate Diaz, he's getting close to 40. He's not even 40 yet. And then John Jones is not even 40 yet either. So I mean, they're just pretty well off now, and I respect that. That's what I'm saying. As fighters, I respect that. They got the bag. They're good. They're just living life, trying to take it easy. But then that's what I'm saying. Like that's when it comes into Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz, just trying to just chill. Go and do this favor, and get over there.
Ultimate Fighter, aka Fight Hype. What do you think about this show? What do you think the next few weeks is going to entail?
I don't know. I don't know what I got into. I came in. They were already going at it with each other. I was on the Ultimate Fighter, so I imagine it's gonna be pretty crazy because I don't know any of them. I think you have a game.
Oh yeah,
You would have broke your foot.
that shit is terrible.
So yeah, so they're chopping it up. Like I said, that's the host in the blue shirt. Let me fast forward because, like I said, I know I'm probably going to get knocked for this on YouTube, but I figure it's worth the chance. So that's the host.
I don't look at it as a rivalry. I'm honored to be here with Nate Diaz. I've always been a fan of Nate Diaz. He's an
There you
absolute
go.
legend in the sport. Him and his brothers are legends. Um, the way I look at it is I'm coming out here to try to motivate the boys, to inspire the boys, try to teach them something new, and just share with the guys. And ultimately, whether one of my guys win or Nate guys win, I feel like we all win because we get to know each other, we get to be together, and share something that we all enjoy. Win. I would like to win, but it doesn't. It's not everything. Like for me, it's about having fun. It's about having.
All right. So let me get to the fight. So they go inside. They're going inside to chill. Um, this one gets a little better angle. Boom. All right. So this dude that walks in, they don't show it. Uh, but as he's walking in, Nate Diaz and John Jones are like chilling. They're sitting down, and then there's another part of the team of, I guess, like I said, I think it's, I don't know exactly who the guy is. I just know he's from the east part of the world. I don't know exactly what area, but my whole point is he didn't like Nate Diaz, and he was just being really kind of. He ain't gonna do that shit to John Jones. I know that much. He ain't gonna try to challenge John Jones. So like I said, these are all they ain't fucking around. So all right, here we go. Boom. I think he slaps him. All right, I'll back it up. All right, y'all saw that. So it's the guy in the cap, and the guy in the cap, uh, see there he goes, and then he starts throwing at everybody, whatever. But you don't go in there and act stupid. And like I said, Nate Diaz ain't scared. So all right, one more time. One more time. He started going up to him like trying to be real, like stupid, like and then of course Nate Diaz. That's why he has his hands up. And I think he slapped him real quick, and then that's when that dude got pissed off. And then look at John Jones like, whoa, whoa, okay, all right. And then some other dude comes inside and then knocks him. That's just crazy, dude. Like I said, it's a bunch of fighters. I mean, that's some shit like that can go down. It is what it is. It's just, I mean, my point is in Thailand, it's a chill place. Thailand's more of a, and then you wonder, like, look at this dude. This dude's like wilding out, and like, seems like nobody has his back. Look, boom, down the ground again. All right, yeah. So then, of course, you get, all right. Well, like I said, I can't show any more of it. I know I already can't because, like I said, I'm just showing respect to Nate Diaz. But yeah, that's what led up to the fight. So that was my whole point of what led up to that whole situation, and I thought that was kind of crazy, that happening. But who not better to happen to than Nate Diaz and John Jones, Um, I think he's wait, hold on. I think he said something right here about it. So hold on. I can probably put that in there. So I just know it has to do with Russia. These guys or some of these guys are from Russia, and like I said, they were. I don't know. Some of these guys run with some other fighters. Like I said, I just remember on one. I don't know what UFC it was, but it was the UFC where he threw a bottle, and I think it was like uh, Islam was in the corner with it. I don't know, but they apparently were laughing at him. They like pointed and then laughed at him. And I would probably throw some shit too if somebody pointed some stuff at me or were laughing at me or just being stupid. Like I said, Nate Diaz don't take it. That was my whole point of this story. I thought I'd just point it out. I thought it'd be interesting. Also, you get to see a fight. Another thing I wanted to jump in was Dan Hooker's backyard. He's actually doing backyard fighting, I guess, which is pretty cool. I mean, that would be something. See, I don't think I could show that one. Dang. So, in the backyard of Dan Hooker's house, I believe he's having actual fights. So I think it's still coming back. I mean, some people are still doing it. I just don't know how. I was trying to find it earlier, and it's just like I don't even know where the videos are at. I mean, the videos are there. It's just I'm not trying to show other people's platforms. So trying, I could do the short. So, but yeah, they're having some knockouts in there. So here, I'll show you. Dang, hold on. But see, that's still Mac. All right. So there you go. You see those? So that's happening back at Dan Hooker's backyard. It's called Dan Hooker's Backyard Brawls. Yeah. Well, it just came to mind because, after showing the other video, I thought I'll show this one. Well, that was it. I'll go ahead and show it. All right. Here we go. Yeah, so these dudes are like, yeah, they're knocking each other out. Big guys. Those guys are like, I don't know, 200, maybe bigger than that. So there was Dan Hooker right there in the O'Neal jersey. Hey, you never know. Maybe wouldn't that be cool? TST's promotions for backyard fighting. I make it legit. I'll have an EMT. I'll have a nurse there. Maybe even a doctor. I'll pay a doctor to be there. And have a legit referee. Technically, you don't even need a venue. You need a big backyard. So yeah, these dudes are throwing down. It's crazy. You can even hear it. Look at that. Ooh. Yeah, there's a few fights that he has. There's a few brawls that he has in like there's Dan Hooker right there, the 24 in the jersey right there. But they got gloves, so it's not they're not technically going bare knuckle, you know. That'd be crazy if it was bare knuckle. It'd be a lot more blood. But I believe they're MMA gloves they have on. Those are big dudes. I think it was like 3 minutes. There was no knockout though. Oh wow! All right. See, much respect. Everything's legit. Look at these dudes. But I believe where Dan Hooker lives. There's probably just a lot of big dudes like over there. So, all right, yeah, I know Mac Life. I'm sorry, man. I had to use your. Like I said, you know, um, it is what it is. I just wanted to show because I had knew about it, but it's still hard to find them, and I just wanted to bring it on. At least I have something to talk about. But definitely, yet again, if you haven't, please press a like. Please spread the word. Subscribe. Do what you got to do. How can I put it? So, anyways, definitely gonna be coming back next Friday for another episode. That's about it. I'm hungry. I'm tired. This one was a 30-minute episode. I just wanted to come out and kind of just show the fighting and the whole Nate Diaz deal. I could go another route, go the Puff Daddy route. I could go talk about. Well, yeah. I was gonna talk about the Wes Watson. Okay. I was gonna do that. My bad. I was gonna do that. See, I'm getting off my. See, I have my cards here, but it's still. I'm actually kind of hungry, and I was just wanted to do this because I know I had promised, and I'm trying to stay on this mode to keep this episode going because I know I got to be consistent, but like just with busy, and I'm still going back up to open mics. I'm not gonna say no names. What open mic I went back to, but the open mic I went back to, or actually I went there once, and then I went back, put my name, and didn't get caught up. Actually, somebody from out of town went ahead of me. I couldn't believe it. The dude sounded like he was my Uber driver, and he went ahead of me. Maybe I shouldn't have said it like that. So I just wanted to show this Wes Watson video where he's talking mess. And I might have to close that out. Because like I said, this internet's been, I don't know if it's my computer. I don't know what it is. So Wes Watson came out talking mess, talking about UFC fighters and talking about how that they're nothing, they're this, they're that. They're not real. They live in a fantasy world. What was he saying? He also said, see, I don't know which one it is. But he could probably come and talk mess too. If he, but I know he had posted a video, and the video was just him going off on here, I'll probably do it on. So he's just making fun of UFC fighters, and all right, man, I might have to. All right, here it goes. All right, so here we go. This is okay. This is the last story, and then I'm going after this. I'm going. No, I'm not trying to leave yet. All right, here we go. So, all right, this is Wes Watson. He actually got caught up recently in a case where he goes viral and he starts talking mess, and what he does, he he he's okay. So the last chart, okay, so he works out at this gym, and at this gym, what he does, he pretty big guy, real big dude, and some guys like follow him on his Instagram and then call them out and they go back and forth. So this dude actually followed through and went over there and they got an actual encounter. And I mean, he actually hurt the other guy. So what I heard that he had charges pressed on him back in February, and these charges in February were actually where he got arrested, and he's already he's been to jail before. So anyway, so then recently he came out with this where he was talking mess about UFC fighters. So he's like a real big guy that he goes viral for talking. He talks mess and says his deal, but it's kind of just I don't really understand it. Um, it's just like I said, it's part of the same world. I mean, you got to think a certain way in order to want to hit somebody or even want to be hit or whatever. Um, I don't know. I just think, but I just don't understand what's the beef and why is he even bringing it up.
Guy's gonna come back and duct tape his family, okay? You don't want to fuck with the wrong people. And the wrong people out here in the world are not pro fighters. You guys need to wake up. These are very big time squares. Pro fighters are the epitome of squares.
So basically, Wes is saying that if you're not a criminal, you're a square. By his own definition, MMA fighters are
The wrong.
He got the video. So, anyways, so he's just talking about the MMA fighters, and then and I just like I'm taking it from Sean Jones's videos. Sean Jones lives in Europe, so Sean, that's the only thing I had to take, man, because it caught my interest because of what he was saying. Like I don't want to show any more of your video, but overall, like I said, I just wanted to show on how this dude uh, was just talking mad mess about. Here, I'll back it up. All right. All right, here we go. So anyway, so that's the only thing I wanted to bring up, which I thought it was kind of just weird the fact that he would talk mess about UFC fighters. I just still don't get that. So here we go, real quick, one more time. So he's
fighter did his jujitsu on him, then the guy's gonna come back and duct tape his family. Okay,
see
you don't
that's
want
the
to
part I
fuck with
wanted.
the wrong people and the wrong.
So that's what he's saying. He's just saying, like UFC fighters are just UFC fighters. They're not real fighters. They don't do, criminal things like that. It's just like, bro, like, what are you talking about? But like I said, he's like a real big clickbait person. I feel. I mean, it's whatever. I just, I mean, he's all tattooed up. I mean, it's whatever. It's just. I mean, I think the gym that he's at is in Miami. So in Miami has that type of lifestyle, which I'm not even interested in. South Beach and all that. It's totally different now. Um, I was back there in South Beach, like I guess in '06, and it was pretty cool. It was actually pretty cool. I mean, I digged it, but I don't think it was like what it is now. Because I think yeah, back in '06, I was only there for like 3 or 4 days, and it was pretty cool. And then I had went to the Key West, so different times. I just know a lot of people gravitate to Miami because kind of a, I guess it's like the new LA from what I hear, from what I understand. So I just wanted to bring that up, and I thought that was, kind of stupid for him to be saying, things like that about UFC fighters and that they're nothing or this or that. So I think that okay. Now I think I'm gonna end it now because I'm hungry and it's been a long week and I got home. My dog's asleep. But thank you for watching. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. And I'll see y'all next week.